Hello and welcome to the second class of the Django series that I'm putting together. This class is going to be about setting up your development environment. I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to take. And so I have the next lecture after that queued up in case we have a little bit of time and don't go over. So like I said before, this course is recorded. Nihar, you're the only one here so far. Do you have any problem with me
No, I'm good.
recording
I'm
this?
fine. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
fine with everything.
thank you. So today we're going to talk about how to prepare your environment to get the development environment ready to run Django. Nihar, you had taken some advanced steps. Can you kind of tell me what you have already done?
So I tried to install WSL via PowerShell terminal, but for some reason it does not populate the Ubuntu app as mentioned in your documentation. So
Yeah.
I think I opened the Microsoft App Store and then just searched for Ubuntu in there, and I think that takes care of it completely.
Great.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
will
I
make a
think
change to the lecture notes to include that option because that is a totally fine option and it's the same thing. So
okay.
yeah. So yeah, let's just go through this really quick. So first of all, just as a reminder, this is something I mentioned last time, but if you are taking my course and you're, watching this in Google Meet or over Zoom or anything, most likely your computer is also capable for running Django and being used as a development PC. So that should be just fine. So today we're going to install a couple different things. First, we're going to install or confirm that we have Python installed. There are some related packages that Python needs to be able to work. The key ones are going to be Django and Python Markdown. There are a bunch of others. A lot of these we won't use yet, but we'll install them today and get your environment ready so that you don't have to keep revisiting this. And so we'll talk about that list of packages when we get there. You're also going to be installing Visual Studio Code as well as some selected extensions. And we'll talk about which extensions, how to get it set up, and why I like them. And just a note about VSCode extensions in general and security and stuff. So we'll talk about that. We will get Docker installed. And so Docker is, again, there's just a recipe that you can find online to get this done. And so Nihar, I would love for you would you be willing and able to share your screen today as you go through this, basically wherever you got to?
Yeah, sure. I can do that.
Okay. So these lecture notes are matched entirely and exactly to the lecture 2 that you find on the website. So, and it's called Setting Up Your Development Environment. So if you are following along, the text that I'm showing on the screen is going to match that exactly. So feel free to copy and paste from there rather than typing it in, and if we encounter any issues, then we can fix it right then and there. So you'll be installing Docker. Docker is just an install script, and you'll be trying to install Docker engine inside your Ubuntu install in Windows. So it's kind of the inception of installs. You're going to have a Windows with a WSL virtual machine with Docker as a virtual machine inside that virtual machine. So we're getting very, really drilling down. In terms of Windows-specific things, Nihar, you already mentioned you installed Windows Subsystem for Linux 2. Hopefully you're using 2. It should work a little bit better, and that will allow you to install Docker. Do you know if you have it?
Yes, I think so. So do you want me to share my screen right now or later on?
We will in just a second.
Okay.
So, and then for Mac folks, if you're wanting to install your own custom version of Python, Macs ship with Python, but they're older versions typically that were kind of packaged up at the time of the operating system. And so you can install Homebrew and then install Python on top of that. I don't have specific details for that, and we won't talk about it today, but that would be the process. And I have a link to the how. So Nihar, these are the steps that you said you got around by doing it a different way, by using the App Store. So
Correct.
My thought here is that if you don't have Windows Subsystem for Linux installed, it won't let you install Ubuntu. And this could be a difference in settings. I was able to do it from a fresh install of Windows 11. And so it's possible that you've got a different version or flavor of Windows 11, maybe Windows 11 Home, Windows 11, Student. I don't know which editions come with it included and installed by default. But unless you have even Windows 11 Home should be able to install WSL. So you found a different way to do it, so that's just fine. When you do, it should look something like this. It's going to be installing Windows Subsystem for Linux. And I think the key things here are that it will ask to restart your computer sometime during the process, at least if you do it using the PowerShell way. And the idea here is once it restarts, you're going to need to let it install Ubuntu and do some other tasks as well. So you'll want to let it finish those tasks after the restart. And the most important things that you'll have to do is wait until it's ready and then supply a new username and password. Nihar, did you do that already?
Yep, I did that.
Okay. So why don't you open up, why don't we just, for reference sake, why don't you open up Windows Subsystem for Linux after sharing your screen, and let's see what it looks like. So tell me where you're at on this.
So I kind of went over your overall lecture notes. I think I finished this entire section. So
okay,
I'm just going to have to restart. That's one thing I might have to figure out. Do I just do like a sudo apt or sudo reboot, and does that do the same thing, or how do I go about that?
That's a great question. First of all, I would assume that what happens when you type exit?
Oh, okay.
So that's going to shut down Windows Subsystem for Linux, close the window. When you restart, you will see that you are now in the Docker group, and that's what we want to check. So open it back up and then just type groups, and that'll be not root, groups, GROUPS.
Oh, groups. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So now you see the last group there is your Docker group. And so that's just a confirmation that you have gone through the process, and then the last step was adding yourself to the new Docker group that was created. This process of installing Docker is relatively straightforward. Did you have any issues?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's pretty
And
straightforward.
then by adding yourself to the Docker group, that means that you can run Docker commands without sudo. Sudo is what we saw up here. It basically requires you to enter a username and password to execute administrative level tasks. So by adding yourself to the Docker group, now you can just run Docker commands without sudo. And so that's our first terminal command. Sudo is the first one that we have to work with. And we also learned another one, groups. So hi, everyone. This is Dan Aukus again, and you have reached the end of the preview of the second lecture. So I encourage you, if you'd like to see more, please enroll in Dynamic Site Generation with Markdown and Django, my newest course on backpack.danaukus.com. You can find all the details for the website in the notes below. Thank you for watching.